Welcome to Power Talk Radio. I'm your host, Tonia Zooms, and I am so excited to speak with Joan Vassos today, the first ever Golden Bachelorette. This 61-year-old school administrator's story is more than just a search for love. It's a powerful reminder that there's no expiration date on dreams. Joan is shattering societal expectations about what women of a certain age can achieve. After dedicating years to her family and career in education and experiencing the devastating loss of her husband, Joan is living proof that starting a new chapter isn't just possible, that it's also thrilling. Joan's journey sends a crystal clear message to women everywhere, whether you're 35, 55, or 75. It's never too late to rewrite your story, chase new dreams, or open your heart to love again. Joan, welcome. I'm so excited. Obviously, I watched The Golden Bachelorette, and I'm so happy that you found love. How are you?
I am, well, first of all, I feel so honored to be here. I look at your magazines all the time and I think, gosh, I don't know if I deserve to be here. I look at the people that you interview and their incredible stories, but mine is more about kind of finding love and starting, a new life at a weird age, at the age of 61. So, I am great. So I found a new life at the age of 61 and I'm thrilled to be here to talk about it.
God bless. Well, the first question, of course, is who or what inspires you to be on national TV, to put your story out there, and to become the first Golden Bachelorette?
You know what? The inspiration like might not have come from a positive thing. It kind of came from a negative thing where I see people saying that it's too hard to find love at this age. They, make an effort and don't continue the effort because it becomes discouraging because it's hard to find somebody at the age of 61. The pool of people is very small. So I came from a place of really feeling worried that my future didn't look as bright as it did before my husband passed away. We had planned a life together, and that was the only life that I ever had in my mind. And then when he passed away, all of a sudden I had this blank slate, blank slate. It was like a black hole was in front of me, and I had no future. And that was really scary. So my motivation was to fill that black hole, to not have to live with that the rest of my life.
So, did you really think it was possible, though, to find love again in such a short period of time? I mean, let's face it, it's not that long.
Mhm. Yeah, I think I was a skeptic also, even though I've seen it work, over the years. Bachelor Nation has had some success. It's
Right.
also had some, not successful seasons. So I, knew I could have been in either one of those categories. I also went on the show not thinking I needed to be engaged. So, it's different being this age and looking for love because I don't have a biological clock and I'm not looking to build a life of with somebody like buying my first house, having children, working on our careers together. It's really something very different. So getting married wasn't necessarily my goal at the end of like this 8 week period. It
Right.
was to find somebody that I wanted to explore what life would look like with them. I was very surprised, probably like a lot of people are, when you actually fall in love that quickly. And I did. And it's not what I expected. It's not what I even went on the show attempting to do.
Right.
I was skeptical, like a lot of people. How can you fall in love that quickly? But, when it's right, it's right. And I knew it was.
What's that song? It only takes a minute, girl.
Yeah, I love that song. I forgot. That's an oldie.
It's an oldie but goodie.
Yes, it is. You're right.
So, I mean, you're famous now. This happened overnight. What does it really feel like?
It feels a little surreal. I don't feel like I'm famous at all. I go about my daily life like I always did. And, you know, being reality famous and being famous are two different
Uh-huh.
things. Like I don't have a particular talent. So I don't have an acting career. I'm not a singer. I am not like a corporate executive. I'm not out in the world doing some great philanthropic thing that makes me famous. I actually just went on TV and dated. So I don't feel like I have the right to be like particularly proud of this fame. I didn't earn it. I kind of lucked into it.
Uh-huh.
So I feel like a little feel like I feel like an imposter a little bit when it comes to being famous.
Right. Well, you're very humble, I have to say that.
For good reason.
So, okay. So we know you love Chuck, but can you tell us, are there any things that annoy you about him? I hate to be blunt, but come on. I mean, nobody's perfect. What can you
Nobody's
tell us? What
perfect.
can you tell us?
It's really funny. So we act like we're an old married couple right now. So
Yes.
we have, it's been, a bunch of months. We had the pleasure of, or we were lucky enough to have a bunch of happy couple visits that were scheduled for us. So we had 5 of them, and they
Uh,
each last 4 or 5 days. So we spent a lot of time kind of out of Bachelor, not away from the mansion, but still not out in the world, where we really got to know each other. And it was still, we were secluded. It was just the two of us. We were in like a kind of like, I call it the safe house, where you kind of hide out and get to spend time with each other. And um, that got us to the point where we are now, being super comfortable out in public. But we like he loves to tell the story about how like imperfect I am, which is so funny because he talks about someone take like when he took my charger, my phone charger. It's like a pet peeve of mine that like when I just want my phone charger plugged into the same outlet so I can find it like in the morning and whatever. And I have one next to my bed also, keep my phone charged. And he took my phone charger one time and he's like, I have never seen that side of you. You were scary. So I think it's more my faults that are coming out than his. I'm going to
okay.
say his was stealing my phone charger, which is about as big as I can get right now. The other weird thing that once again makes me look bad again is that he's a hand holder. And I think I am, I don't know if it's an East Coast thing, if we are just not as warm and
Right.
touchy, or if it's just the family I grew up with. I grew up in like, I felt very loved in my family, but we weren't like a touchy-feely family.
Right.
So
Okay.
we're walking down the street, he's always holding my hand. And I'm like,
Aw,
this feels so weird to me. So I'm always like pushing him away. I'm like, you don't need to hold my hand all the time. He's like, I like to. I was
that's
like, I
funny.
don't know.
I'm like that too. I need to like my space. So it's
Yeah.
funny you said that.
Okay, so I'm so glad that you said that because I feel like you are the only one that has validated that for me since I've been talking about it with people. I feel like I'm like maybe I'm not as I'm cold or something, but I don't feel like I am. I feel like I'm a very like warm and
Yeah.
inviting person, but that hand holding just feels weird to me.
All right. Hey, that's okay. Like I said, nobody's perfect. We all have,
We have our things.
So, don't, what would you say to women who, are reluctant to open their hearts again, who are reluctant to finding love? What kind of advice would you give them?
Yeah, I get it. I so get it. Because especially, at this age, I think I'd rather speak maybe to this age because I don't remember it. I did it really, when I was fairly young, when I was in my 20s, when I found John and married him and, created this whole life. But the age of this of 61, it's a really different kind of story because dating seems a little undignified.
Uh-huh.
And you feel like maybe you look foolish. And I also felt kind of selfish that at this age you should be in a support role to the generation that is coming up. So at this point I have grandchildren. So and I have children that are in their working years and in their family development, buying homes. And I felt like me going out and wanting to date, I was being selfish and I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do, like be in the support role to them and
Uh-huh.
like taking care of the kids and helping them buy their homes. And, like my life should be winding down while theirs is winding up, and I should be helping them wind theirs up. And so I felt selfish. And I want to say to everybody that is thinking about that, and if they are having the same feelings as I did, like feeling undignified, feeling selfish, and saying, like, do you really have a right to have like a second life? To get rid of all of those feelings. And it's hard to. And my motivation, or the way that I finally got rid of those, was
Uh-huh.
when I went on the Golden Bachelor and I met these 21 other, like, really amazing women who had like incredible backstories and had gone through a lot in life. And when they were saying they felt the same as me, like it felt undignified and they felt selfish and they felt like they should be in support roles, I'm
Yeah.
going, why would you think that? You have this whole life ahead of you? Yet I wasn't thinking that for myself. I
Right.
was not
Right.
feeling good about it. So to get rid of those feelings, I would say that those things that are holding you back to shed those and think about your life. So I'm in my 60s, so I'm 61. And I think, okay, I had a wonderful 32 years of marriage with my husband, with John. And I think I could possibly have another, if I'm lucky, 30, I have a 92-year-old mother,
Yeah,
another 32 years with somebody else. Why deny that to yourself? I know it's hard to find somebody. I know that the pool of people is small, but think about the risk versus the reward. And
yeah.
the reward could be so great.
Aw, good advice. I love that. So, do you believe in dating apps? Just curious.
I do. They're really successful for a lot of people. I mean, I
Uh,
always encourage my kids when they were kind of at that age, and they still are, to do a dating app. I did one. I did Match.com. It felt like a job to me. I felt like I needed to be on my phone so much, being witty and flirty,
right,
and trying to get people to know people via like over a phone via text message. I found that like really hard. Like it was a job. It felt like a job to me. In fact, at the time I had a job and I thought I'm going to get fired from my job because I spend so much time on my phone. Otherwise you get so behind
yeah,
and you feel like, oh gosh, I didn't answer him or, I just, it felt like a burden to me.
yeah,
But in this world of dating, I described this. In fact, the night that I actually filled out the application to be on Golden Bachelor, it was because I had gone out with a friend of mine and we had gone to a local restaurant and we sat at the bar to have dinner. And I always made this like a policy to sit at the bar because I feel like then you become kind of more approachable and
yes, I
maybe I
agree.
would meet somebody out like in the wild,
Yeah.
which is what I wanted. I really rather meet somebody face to face than try to do it
Mhm.
on an app and then find out that they're not the person that you thought they were when you go to meet them in person. Just skip that whole step if you can and go meet somebody in person. So we were sitting at the bar and I was saying to my friend, I really feel like it had been 2 years since my husband had passed away. And I said, I feel like I need to get out there. I said, my head is telling me you're not getting any younger, you're not getting any prettier, you're not getting any, whatever. Life is going to pass you by if you keep just waiting. Even though at that point in my life, my heart wasn't really ready, but I was trying to talk it into it. My head was trying to talk my heart into, yeah, we need to do this. So I was looking around this restaurant and I said, look at everybody. I go, everybody here is a couple. And I said, and even if they weren't like paired off, if there weren't husband and wives or man
Yeah,
and women people sitting together, if I saw a guy, let's say I saw a guy across the bar and he was alone, I would assume he was married and that he just wasn't there with somebody or he was on a business
yeah,
trip or something because everybody our age is married and everybody's a couple. So I thought there's really no way to meet somebody organically. So I knew that a dating app was going to be the best way for me to find somebody,
uh-huh.
except for I came home that night and I turned the TV on and they were doing that casting call for The Bachelor. And I filled out that form and this is where I ended up. But I was doing the dating app knowing that meeting somebody out in the wild is
Yeah.
really hard.
Wow, wow. So, what do you think one of the biggest mistakes, I'm going to say women, what are
Mhm.
one of the biggest mistakes that women make when trying to find love? Excuse me.
Try to find love.
Yeah, what's
Um,
one of the biggest mistakes do you think we make? I feel like sometimes we look for the bad boy. Um,
yeah.
you, what are your feelings about that?
I think so. I think you need to be very honest and open about what you need from a relationship.
Uh-huh.
That making a guy guess that is is not fair. And you're going to end up wasting a lot of time. So I think you should put that out there right away. And I did that when I was going on when they named me as a Golden Bachelorette. I said right away, I said, I'm not leaving Maryland. I have family here. I have my 4 kids and I have
Right,
3 grandkids and I plan to have more. And that is something I am not willing to, to budge on. And I'm willing to go back and forth. I'm willing, but
right.
I will always have a home here where I can be with my family. And so I put that out there right away because I said, I don't want anybody coming on the show thinking that I'm going to move to wherever they live because I'm not doing that. I will spend time there. I will do every other week there. I will make compromises, but I am not going to move there. So I think you have to not be afraid. Do not be what you think they want you to be. Be yourself because otherwise you're not going to end up in the right place. You're not going to end up with the right person or you're going to be doing all the compromising.
Yeah. So true. You have to be honest. Well, getting back to the dating apps, it's just like when people put a picture of themselves from 10 years ago.
I
It's
know.
like if you're going to meet the person, we're going to see what you look like anyway.
I know. What do they think that you're going to, if you agree to meet them, and this did happen to me absolutely like more than once. I always said that, I'll meet you for a drink. It was always kind of like I knew to make it a short time span, and I would go. And I remember one very distinct one. I walked into the restaurant and I kind of looked around and I'm like, okay, well, he's not here. And it was a big like circular bar, square bar.
Yeah.
Looked all around, he's not here. So I sit down and a man starts waving at me from across the bar, and it was the guy, and I'm like, you don't look anything like your picture. And I don't want to sound like superficial that the picture was the only
Right.
important part of this, but it just kind of showed to me that you're maybe a little deceitful.
Yeah,
You're trying
I
to lure
agree.
me in based on like something false.
Right. Yeah. So true.
Hmm.
Happened to me also. I'm
Yeah.
sure we could tell each other many stories.
I bet. Oh, I know. We should do a book or a show on dating stories. They're
I wrote
bad.
a book. I wrote a book, Single and
Oh my.
Not Settling. I wrote it a
Oh,
few
I
years
love
ago.
that. Yeah. Mhm.
So what's next? What's like the next career move for you? What are you thinking?
Hmm. I don't know. Like this has
Maybe
opened.
write the book.
Yeah, maybe read the book, right? Yeah, do something funny, probably. Um, I think that this I never expected to be here, so I haven't like I didn't plan for anything in life. You usually think about your career and about your future at a way younger age. So
Mhm.
thinking that I have opportunities at this age feels very weird to me. Um, so like what is next? I don't really know. I feel like I really do like talking about being this age and finding love and about relationships and about life changing and that it's not too late. So maybe there's something I can do like a podcast or I've thought about writing a book. I'm not sure if I have enough content for it.
Right.
Because actually I had a really good life before this, and generally books start out as somebody who has struggled before.
Right.
I had parents who loved me. I grew up in a really middle class home. I had I went to the state college that, I went to University of Maryland. So I had a really, I had parents who loved me. And
Mhm.
I had a husband who I created a great life with. And, I'm not sure if that's a great basis for a story, except for my story derailed when I was 58, when I lost like my person, the person that
Yeah.
I plan to spend my future with. And I think that's almost where my story starts. And I think I'm only 3 years into it, so I'm not positive. I have a lot to talk about yet. But I love doing this, like with you. I love talking about what life looks like, because I hope that it creates some hope for people. Because I've had
Absolutely. And you
very,
do. You really do. I mean, like I said before, you're so humble. I mean, the minute people see you, they're drawn to you. We see your integrity, your honesty, and that's important.
thank
And,
you.
if
Thank you.
anybody deserves to be happy, really, it's you. I think
Well,
everybody feels like they know you personally.
yeah, I love that. People say that to me all the time, which is so flattering because like I went on this show thinking like I only know how to be myself. I hope it's good enough
Yes.
because I don't have this great backstory. I don't have this, childhood where I struggled. I had a really good life,
Right.
but I did have struggles and it came later in life. And I wanted the show not to be about me. I wanted the show to be about everybody like me or
Yeah.
everybody, at this age trying to find love or even older trying to find love and like starting a new chapter in their life and how scary it is. But like if you take that leap of faith, you might end up with something great. So I always thought this show isn't about me, it's about like people like us.
Yes. What does the word power mean to you? You're going to be on the cover of Power
I
magazine
know.
coming out in
Yay.
a few weeks. So, what does the word power mean?
So, like when I think about power, I think about strength.
Mhm.
And I think about strength, but in like not a aggressive way, but in an influential way.
Mhm.
So power means like you have the ability to influence people to maybe change or to grow. Um, so I'm not sure if like I'm worthy of the word power, but I do hope the show helped people like empower themselves,
Yep.
make them feel like they have the ability to change
Mhm.
and that maybe I had a little bit of power in making them feel that.
You did. You're definitely inspirational and empowering.
Thank
So,
you.
Thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
So when is the wedding?
That is a good question.
Everybody wants to know, when's the wedding?
I know. There will be a wedding, okay? So I'm gonna
Okay.
promise you that.
All right.
Chalkin is my man. I am his woman. There is no question. This is a done deal. Planning a wedding after this very busy year sounds a
Yeah.
little overwhelming to me right now. And I really just want to be like a regular couple. We've had very little time to do that.
Yeah.
Even when we've been, so we had the happy couple houses, but that's not really regular. You're not out like going out to dinner with friends. You're not going to parties, with other people and just being regular people. That just started in November and it's just December. So we've only been doing it for like a month. And we live in different, states. So we have to fly to see each other. And we've done a lot of that. But I need to have maybe another 6 months of just, and I'm just saying that number, it could be less, could be
Yeah.
more, I don't know, of just being regular people. I want to be able to, go out to dinner with friends. I want to be able to
Mhm.
travel a little bit. I want to sit at home and make dinner and watch Netflix, binge watch something. I
Yeah.
just want to be regular people without having the thought of I have this huge event to plan. So I
And you
am
deserve that. You deserve to take time and just enjoy it.
enjoy being together. We love
Yeah.
it. We love being with
Yeah.
each other, and it's a little bit of an effort. And adding a wedding on top of that is
A lot.
like a little overwhelming to me right now. So I'm thinking by summertime I'm going to be a little more in the mood.
All right. Take your time. Enjoy
Thank
it.
you.
So just a couple of fun facts. Tell us something people still don't know about Joan.
Hmm. Um, like I hate to toot my own horn, honestly, I really do. So, like, but I think you're asking me to do that I kind of have to. I think people don't know that I am actually pretty smart. I have a degree in computer science with a minor in math, and yeah, I think I'm a quick learner and I'm pretty smart.
Okay. Well, we can tell you're pretty smart,
Oh, I
but
don't know. Okay, thank you.
I didn't know you're good at math. So
Yeah. Well, I can do calculus. That's scary, right? But not that anybody at this age ever needs you to do calculus.
calculus.
It's one of those stupid skills.
That's so funny. So, did you do your own makeup and hair? Everybody's like, I wonder, does she do her own makeup and hair every day on the show?
So I did not do my own makeup. We
Okay.
had, oh my God, I had the most amazing, wonderful makeup person named Gina. I love Gina to this day. And if I ever get the chance to have her do my makeup again, she will be the first person to call. She lives in LA though. But I did do my own hair. Yeah,
Okay.
so every morning I got up. So sometimes my call times were really early. I had to be at Gina by like 6 a.m. I would have to get up at like 5, take a shower, do my hair, and then go to her because right after makeup was done, you got your wardrobe and you were off
Mhm.
and running on a date.
Well, your hair looked great. Your makeup
Thank
looked
you.
great. I mean, you're
Thank
in
you.
shape. What, you work out every day, I'm assuming?
I try. I'm not that great, but
Or
I
you're
don't
just
do anything.
lucky?
I'm a little bit lucky. Okay, I didn't get a lot of luck in life. I don't have great hair. I have extensions, by the way. But I did actually end up like not being. I got kind of lucky on. I don't gain. I haven't gained a ton of weight as I've gotten older, but I do. I get up and I do YouTube videos. So I mostly do arms because I don't want the flabby
All
underarms.
right.
And I do ab workout.
Good for you. You look good. You look good.
Thank you. And I walk my dog. I do
And
walk
you
my
walk
dog.
your dog. That's
Yeah,
great.
helps.
Do you have a favorite cliche?
I do actually.
Okay.
And I say this to my kids a lot, and I try to live it. Um, People treat you the way you allow them to treat you. So I think that's important to know that you deserve to be treated well and you have to require it. And if you require it, people respect it.
Okay. Love it. Love it. And who's your favorite fashion designer?
Oh, well, oh, Chanel.
Chanel. Okay.
Chanel, just hands down. I can't even think of anybody that compares to Chanel. I mean, from the like quilted bags to
Mm,
the Chanel suit to the pearl buttons. Chanel is she just icon. It's just iconic. Like you
yeah.
can describe the style. Everybody can describe the Chanel style.
Everybody loves Chanel. Yeah.
Yep.
And how about favorite perfume?
I hate to be a cliche, but Chanel number 5. I've
Okay.
worn it my whole life. My mom wore it when I was a kid. I fell in love back then. It has that powdery scent that I love. Yep, Chanel number 5.
Great. And one more question. I know you're busy. Um, as far as the next Bachelor, do we know who that is?
We do not. The show
Okay.
has not made a decision. I
Who
have a
are
lot of
you?
ideas of who
Okay.
would be good bachelors, and there's
Okay.
many.
Who
But
do you want to see?
I think that there are some people that people don't know, and I want to talk about those guys. There's a guy named Greg, and Greg is from Florida. He is super smart. He has two PhDs. He was the university vice president. He has the quickest wit. He is so much fun. I don't think he's on anybody's radar, and he is such a cool guy. I think like the same thing about Dan. Dan also lives in Florida. He was the one that I took on that he won the talent show, which was hilarious because he did like this ribbon hilarious thing. It just was funny. He didn't have a talent, so he just went out there and like just did funny, and he was really funny. Greg actually did a comedy routine.
Uh-huh.
Um, everybody is looking towards Charles and Mark. Charles
Okay.
just won everybody's heart. Mark, came into the season already being known by so many people. Both of them are amazing. I mean, there's Gary. He's retired. He is like the most positive human being I think I've ever met. Maybe Charles is. I don't know the two of them,
Yeah.
but like neck and
And
neck on
Guy. What about Guy?
Guy's
I,
amazing.
I love
A guy,
Guy.
hey, Mike, he was my final two. Obviously, I think Guy's a great guy.
Guy,
He's
I'm single,
amazing.
Guy.
He's smart, he's fun, he's caring, he has a huge heart. I mean, they're just like I could say something positive about every single guy that was on my season and that they should be the Bachelor.
They
And I know
really
that's
were a great group. Great group,
really great
Matt.
group of guys. They
Yeah.
really were.
All right, so I lied. I do have two more questions.
Okay.
What would you like to say to your fiance right now? If you had one thing to
Oh,
say to him, what do you want to say? Chuck,
I said, Chalk, you changed my life. You gave me hope. You gave me a future that I'm looking forward to. That was
wonderful.
easy. So easy.
So
Thank
easy. And what about the women out there? What's one more thing you could tell them to do and a
you.
little
Yeah.
inspiration?
I think don't give up, that you deserve to have a life. And that goes young and old. It's discouraging. Finding love is not easy.
Yeah.
You're thinking about the person you're going to spend the rest of your life with, and it's a big decision. It's not easy, but it's worth it. Like the reward, even though it requires, work, the reward is so worth it.
Joan, thank you so much for being with us today. You
Thank
truly are
you.
an inspiration. I'm so glad you found love, and you're just a beautiful person inside and out. God
Thank
bless
you.
you and have a happy holiday.
Thanks, you too. Feel better. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to be on your show. I feel so honored. Thank you.